Today we're going to take a look at a really cool site called Tagxedo. Now Tagxedo is a really neat site that makes a tag cloud, but it does it with a little bit of style. So if you're familiar with sites like Wordle and other sites that will do tag cloud generation, you'll be pretty familiar with how this works. But it does some cool things, including this. You can actually take a URL, Twitter ID, Delicious account, RSS feed, a search term, or even news articles, and turn them into really interesting tag clouds. So for instance, if I typed in my EdgeDecker Twitter ID, and I changed the shape to, let's say, an apple, I'm going to leave the orientation the way it is, although I could change it around. I'm allowed to change my font. I'm going to choose over here, well, it doesn't really make a difference, but right over here, I'll choose Pixie font, and I'm going to choose a theme, which I could always change again later. So I'll choose Cloud over Castle and press Submit. You'll notice it's going to generate my tag cloud, or my Tagxedo, and over here, very simply, I'm going to get my Twitter feed content as a tag cloud. So there it is. Now, notice over here that the words that are used most prevalently, or the ones that are used most often, get larger. So obviously, the same way Wordle and other tag cloud generation tools work, the ones that are used most frequently are larger. So I can change the fonts, and I can change some of the themes, and I can change a whole bunch of different things about it using the menu on the left. On the side over here where it says words, I'm going to load in text. Now I can over here I'm going to paste in the Martin Luther King Jr. I Have a Dream speech and press Submit. When I do that, the entire speech is going to be rendered in the shape of an apple. Pretty cool. And you can see again the words that are used largest, freedom, are the largest over here. But that's not all it does. In fact, it's really neat. While this site is in beta, it's going to allow you to do some of the premium features, the pro features, for free. So they will charge for it at some point, but it allows you to do some really interesting things. For instance, I can change the shape. And not only can I choose shapes such as love, bananas, apples, buses, all sorts of cool little clip arty type shapes, I can actually choose my own image. So I'm going to add an image over here of Martin Luther King Jr.'s profile. I can change the threshold and the blur and try to make it look more like a person. And you'll notice that I can change this, and I can play around with this later on as well. So just drag it back and forth. That looks pretty good. And I'm going to go to accept. Now it's going to take the entire text of the speech and render it inside of his shape. Now, although that doesn't really exactly look like Martin Luther King Jr., it's not too bad. It's starting to look like a person. And I can go back and change some of those features later. In addition, I can actually change the colors of the genre. I can just click on this little rotate button, and it allows me to kind of recycle the pictures and recycle the themes and colors. I can choose any theme I wish from this drop-down menu. Notice there's tons of them. So over here I'm going to choose something called Quiet Morning. That looks pretty good. And I can even change the fonts and the orientation. So over here I'm going to change the font. I'm going to pick something that seems a little more fitting for the text. So I'm going to choose this one over here. Looking alright, looking pretty good. And you can definitely tell it's the profile of somebody, although obviously if you want more detail you can kind of go through it later on. Now, the words that are most stand out over here can even pop bigger when you say full screen. So for instance, you want to start a lesson like this. It would be really interesting to start a lesson talking about the Martin Luther King Jr. I Have a Dream speech in the full screen mode. Pressing escape takes you back out of it. You can do not only just things like text and speeches and Twitter feeds, but you could also do your entire class syllabus like this, or your class rules. The possibilities are endless. This is a really great tag cloud generation tool. It's called Tagxedo, and it's really simple to use. Hope you give it a shot, tagxedo.com.